If you're a beginner to the gym and you're wondering how do you actually train to see muscle growth and performance increases, then this is a video for you. So as we look to the whiteboard then, like I said, this is a video on how to train as a beginner. So common mistakes that I often see is complicated set and rep schemes, doing a push-pull legs twice a week, so 6 days of push-pull legs, having no program or having no nutrition in place to support any of the muscle growth or adaptations that we need. So let's go through these then. Common set and rep schemes. So complicated set and rep schemes. So people often have top sets and from the start and they're going into these push-pull legs upper lowers or push-pull legs twice a week. Complicated set and rep schemes where it's hard for them to keep track of. They haven't got a coach to keep track of it. So it's just not going to work out for them. And also, if you're a beginner, you haven't got the necessary training adaptations in order to need this much volume in order to grow. You just don't have enough of it. You haven't got any adaptations, you haven't got any strength increases yet. So your body's just, it's not ready for this yet. So obviously push-pull legs twice a week. This is the go-to bodybuilding split, right? Now, the only thing with this is obviously it leaves 1 day for recovery. And obviously you're gonna get recovery in between each day. So obviously push days, you're gonna get 2 days to recover in between, which is fair. But overall, it's having 2 days to 3 days of rest per week, where you just don't do any specific resistance training exercises, is gonna benefit you massively. Because this is just too much volume, plus people are busy. People have got busy lives, and having to go to the gym every single day, almost every single day, is just not going to work for most people. Now, obviously, if you're a young teenager and you've got all the time in the world, you only go to college or to university, and you've got a bit more extra time, this is obviously understandable. But for most people, adults, this is not going to work. People have got busy lives, and having no program in place. So, you're going to the gym, you're going in and you're just doing whatever, that machine's free, let me go on chest press, or the cables are free, let me go on cables. Having no program, no plan to progress, no forward vision. You plan, like there's a saying, obviously, failing to plan is planning to fail, etc. This is exactly the same how it works with the gym. Having no program is not going to benefit you in any way. I've seen people, who were in the gym. The people who exercise are not ones who always look like the people who train, but they're not ones to do what the people who train do, and that's obviously planning, strategy, etc. And obviously no nutrition to support this, so your proteins, fats, carbs. Where is all this going to come into your performance increases and to manage energy levels and to boost performance? Like, there's no nutrition at all to support it. You're just going off something the internet said in terms of, do this gram per thing, and you're not even got like an actual plan of what you want to do moving forwards. Like these things need to progress over time. They need to be micromanaged to an extent. So how to set yourself up for success then? So simple set and rep schemes, example 3 or 4 sets of 8 to 12. This is obviously the bread and butter range of muscle growth. Obviously you can build muscle between 5 and 30 reps, all that stuff, but if you want to maximize tension on the muscle, plus people get bored quickly, 8 to 12 is going to be right around the range. You're heavy enough where the 8 is going to be quite intense, especially for unconventional movements. So you're looking at things like a chest press, dumbbell presses. 8 reps is relatively heavy. So obviously you can progress that. Let's say you do 20 kilos in here, you can progress 20 kilos until eventually you get to 12 reps. Then you can strip it back, go up to the 22 and a halves for 8 reps, then push that back up to 12, etc. Having these simple set and rep schemes is going to set you up for success, because now you can manage the weight, you can track it the same single weight the same weight increase every single week, and you can manage this way easier than having complicated set and rep schemes like a top set here and there or a pause this here and there. Having the simple set and rep schemes of simple exercises and to build adaptations first in order to bounce off that and then go to more complicated stuff, you need this first. Focus on technique. Now, you see so many beginners going in there. I've seen people deadlifting with like the spines and like a bell position, like just curve like that. Like I've seen people do some mad stuff. I've seen someone do a hip thrust and a bicycle at the same time. Don't ask me how. Like I've actually got no idea, but I've seen a guy doing bicep curls and a hip thrust at the same time. Don't make sense to me. This is where technique comes in. Actually focusing on technique, because it's all right having the rep and set schemes, training hard, having that weight on the bar or the weight on the machine, but where's that energy going? Where's that tension going? Because if it's not going where you want it to do, then you're not doing your job in the first place. You know what I mean? Like if you're doing a lat pull down, but your elbows are a little bit higher and you're focusing on mid back, You're not doing a lot of pull down, are you? You're doing a mid-back exercise. This is where technique comes in massively. Then also focusing on training hard to send a stimulus through the body. Training hard combined with technique is going to make a massive difference in terms of progression, because your body needs a stimulus to adapt. You need to put your body under a stressful state in order for it to adapt. Like you will do if you were sprinting, running, training. Any exercise, any sport, any discipline requires a stimulus to adapt. Obviously with weightlifting, it's a lot easier because you can track basic everything. So your stimulus, let's say you're doing chest press or dumbbell presses, your stimulus is a dumbbell press, but pushing that set really hard. Now set 1, 2, and 3, you want to push them hard, but that 4th set wants to be as close to failure as you can get. And if you can get a spot to drive you for them last 1 to 2 reps, perfect. You know, take that as close to failure. You're gonna have enough adequate rest time in between to again push it the next time, and so forth. So the next one is setting up your nutrition to support all this. So obviously making sure you know where your proteins needs to be, you know where your fats needs to be, you know where your carbs, and also progressing this over time. That's one thing that's not talked about a lot, is progressing the kind of surplus or deficit over time. Because your body's going to adapt, you're going to put on weight or lose weight, so therefore your energy demands are going to be different and higher. So if you put on, let's say you did a 6-week program, if you started at 80 kilos and now you're at 82, you put on 2 kilos, so you need to account for that 2 kilos now in weight. Let's say you carry that on the next 4 weeks, you put on another 2 kilos, you're now from 80 to 84, you've now got to account for 84 kilos, an extra 4 kilos of weight. Now if you pick up a 4 kilo dumbbell, like it might not seem much, but you carry that across your weight, or you try and do lunges with it, it's a pretty substantial amount of weight. So this, therefore, you need to account for this and go, okay, my maintenance calories, let's say hypothetically, my maintenance calories were 2,000 calories a day. 2,000 calories a day, my maintenance was before. Now it might be 2,100. That might be the difference between going from 80 to 82. Obviously, that's not going to make a massive difference. It depends on the person, but this 100 calories extra could be the difference in gaining a little bit more mass, especially when you use the 1% effect across the year. That 100 calories today is going to be 700 calories by the time the week's finished. But by the time the month's finished, that's 2,800 calories from the month extra you've got. So obviously that there, as you see across the year, you do times it by 12. I'm not going to do maths on that, but as you can see very quickly, that 1% effect starts to kick in. Also, you're going to be adding on top of this anyway. So if your maintenance calories are 2,000 calories a day, you're adding on an extra 500 calories, which is 2,500. Now it's going to be 2,600. So you're going to have a bit more energy to work with. Also, you can also open up this surplus more. Now, like you've got this here, you go, okay, I'm just going to add, I'm going to go to 2,700 calories from here, because I've gone from here to here now. I've got a bit more mass to work with. I know something's working, so let me add a little bit more on now so I can get a little bit more out of it. You know what I mean? So, increase that performance and training. A bit more calories to work with is going to mean you can train harder, and you're not going to see the level of kind of drop off in terms of training standards and energy levels that you would do otherwise. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there because it's getting complicated now. I'm starting to lose track a little bit. But yeah, like I said, common mistakes, how to set up for success, complicated, simple, pretty much. I'm going to end the video there. Thank you guys for watching. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments for me, and have a good rest of your day.